Well, I mean, I'd say first and foremost, you start with your own calling. As a teenager, after coming to faith, I did street witnessing in Southern California. So on Friday nights,
Wow.
God has put a desire to evangelize in my own heart, and hopefully a gifting in that. And so doing that through my own personal work here at the firm, with every employee that I have here and my partners and our team members, as well as on the boards I sit in and
Mhm.
the regulators that I get to meet with. And I've been invited to speak at the Vatican
Does
again,
Jesus have
and
regulators too?
he does. Interestingly, when we need to sign forms in certain parts of Southeast Asia, I have to sign Patrick Fisher, comma, a Christian, comma, hereby sign as a director. So it's very much there on my director forms as
Hmm.
well. But with that, I think there's just something that really needs to be communicated about how we work with our management teams too. We have CEOs in all of these businesses, men and women that are amazing leaders, and teaching them how to lead with their faith and to communicate our own faith. Now, of course, we have Hindu and Muslim and Christian and with Protestant Christians, Catholic Christians. We have all sorts of and atheist management teams as well. So this is a great opportunity for them to know why we do what we do and who we are. And I've always very much believed that Christians should be leaders in the impact investing space. I mean, nobody should be able to put all these components better than a Christian, especially creation
Yeah.
care, the environment. Who should care more? Somebody that sort of says we're here randomly and we evolve with no real design. Why would we're just a bunch of atoms? No, it should be people that really believe that we have a creator, and that's part of the name creation, is the creation of opportunities, the sense of that we've been created to do something and that we need to care for all of God's creation, as well as wealth being created, not exchanged. And that's one of the big misnomers that we try to deal with. But with that, there is a spiritual element, of course, that goes into our work. And I think it goes back to some of the principles even Martin Luther talked about with the cobbler in his example, which I'm sure you're very familiar of, which is, how does a cobbler best represent Christ? Is it by putting a cross on every shoe, or is it just making really good shoes? And Luther, says it's by making really good shoes. And maybe I'm misattributing that. Maybe it's somebody else, but it's about being excellent at what we do in financial services, knowing we're going to work with diverse teams, knowing we're motivated by our faith, and knowing the best way to honor God and inspire others is by creating the best financial institutions that will really be a light. Now, through that, it gives us a platform. And I've had a platform to speak to our investors. Some of our investors just see this as one of the best opportunities to make a financial return because we're in emerging markets, we're in high growth. Financial services has a great track record behind it. Our own track record's fantastic. So, but this is an opportunity to say that's not all we're doing here. We're a part of the Isaiah 65 that we talked about earlier, and we're doing it motivated out of our faith. That doesn't lead to any fuzzy thinking, though, of why we do or how we do what we do with rigor. But also, we have and we'll continue to give to things like City to City and other kinds of churches that are in and involved in these areas to strengthen the local church around where our investments are. We give to other NGOs as well that are doing healthcare, education, spiritual evangelism, and church and other kinds of community work as a way to know what we do has a very specific focus, but clearly for whole human flourishing, we're going to need all sorts of groups to be involved and address a particular community for the resources that they need and the sharing of the gospel.